Hello everyone. In our last video, we have discussed about OSI model layers, 7-layer approach, which layer is working as upper layer or software layer, which layer working as an hardware layer, and transport layer works. But actually, how these layer works. So in this video, class number 2, you are going to discuss about what is the exactly role of application layer, because it is the topmost layer of your OSI model. So in this video, we can check what is the exact meaning of application layer. Okay. So first of all, we need to learn about that application layer is responsible for providing networking services to user. Now the question arises here, what are exactly networking services? So networking services are like protocols like HTTP protocol, FTP protocol, simple mail transfer protocol, post office protocol, because these protocols are used to communicate with another person. Like protocols are the set of rules for communication. HTTP is hypertext transfer protocol, FTP is file transfer protocol used to transfer the file, SMTP is mail transfer protocol, like you want to send email to your friends, then SMTP help you to send that mail to mail server, and POP3 and IMAP protocol used to download that mail from the mail server. So all the protocols are known as networking services, and these networking services provided by application layer. Now the question arises, how application layer work and networking services understand by computer, because computer is an electronics device, and if computer is an electronics device, it only learn the value of numbers, binary, decimal or hexadecimal. So that's why identification of services is done using port numbers. Now the question is, what are ports? Ports are nothing but socket. These are the entry and exit point of the layer. So in our networking industry, at application layer, we have total number of ports 65536, but they are starting from 0. So that's why 0 to 65535 are our total number of ports. Okay. And reserve ports are only 0 to 1023. Now what is the meaning of reserve port? Reserve ports are like that are already reserved for one specific protocol. Like for example, HTTPS is reserved with 443, HTTP is reserved with port number 80, FTP is reserved with port number 21. These are reserved port. And open ports, that ports are not well defined. Just okay, we can check list of TCP and UDP port number. So open ports are just open, which are used for so many services. Now let's check some examples of application layer. For example, I am a client and I want to access to any web server. So for example, I want to access Facebook. So I need to use any Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, like any search engine. And I will type www.domainname.com. I'm taking an example of Facebook. So Facebook is a domain name and client wants to access to web server with facebook.com. So client send request to web server. You can check when HTTP request is made, then client send request to web server and web server receive that information on port number. So if the request came from HTTP, then port number 80 is there. For example, now Facebook is secure, HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol secure. Then the port should be listened with 443. So this is all about client wants to access Facebook. So web server only access with the help of port number. When it receives the message with port number, it sends query back to your client and your Facebook is open. So this is my Facebook. I have accessed this. Now let's take another example. The another example is, for example, you are a client and you want to access any FTP server. FTP is File Transfer Protocol server. So I'm taking an example of Microsoft. So ftp.microsoft.com I will use in my address bar. When I will type this, then same as HTTP, I'm going to access with ftp.microsoft. Now again, Microsoft is my domain name, but this time my network services is different. In my last example, I have given HTTP, that is the different service, networking services. Now FTP is there. So if FTP is there, then it send message to FTP. Now it receives on different port number. Now for FTP, its port number is 21. I already told you that there are reserved port from 0 to 1023. So when port is received, then it sends reply back and client open your Microsoft server. Understand the concept? So at application layer, all the things are used for networking services. So application layer is used to provide networking services directly to user, and there are so many examples like HTTP, FTP, SMT, Telnet. So these are some examples of application layer. HTTP port number is 80, FTP port number is 21, SMTP port number is 25, that is used for mail transfer. Telnet is used for 23, and TFTP is your tribal file transfer protocol. So this is all about application layer. Now in next video, we are going to discuss about presentation layer and session layer.